Because, Spenny, it is customary and traditional for every single president to have the portraits of all the previous presidents hanging in the White House. There are some famous ones that you'll see as soon as you walk into the White House. You can see the massive George Washington portrait, or the iconic JFK portrait, or the Ronald Reagan portrait. These are pretty famous ones. Ladies and gentlemen, there's also portraits of the first ladies, like the previous first ladies that have occupied the White House recently, have their portraits hung up, like, for instance, Hillary Clinton, who had this portrait hanging in the hallway of Kid Rock, Sarah Palin, and Ted Nugent trolling it. This is a classic from way back in 2017. Ah, yes. The one thing that isn't set in stone is where those portraits hang, and they can be moved about, and they do, and that's something that's regular and happens quite often. Like, for instance, there was this portrait right in the entryway of the White House, very prominent location, a location of honor. And this is where Barack Obama's portrait was up until a few months ago, where Donald Trump decided to hang his own fight, fight, fight portrait. Beauty, actually. The White House bragging about this, some new artwork in the White House. President Trump is surviving the assassination attempt. I was able to see it myself. It's an absolute thing of beauty. Brought my family there. Here's my newborn son. You know, just observing, right? Observing. President of the United States being an absolute alpha. You know, it's not alpha, is obviously Barack Obama. Barack Obama is... his portraits have just been really weak. Like, this is an incredibly boring portrait. Or the one where he's sitting inside of, like, the forest and the leaves. It's kind of weird and kind of weak. And President Trump was sick of them, so he moved them where no one can find them. Okay. Trump moved Obama Bush portraits to hidden stairwell. That's my favorite headline. My favorite headline CNN's ever written. Once dramatic feature in the White House entryway, the official portraits of former presidents, Barack Obama, has been moved to a decidedly less prominent position, underscoring years-long tensions between Obama and Donald Trump. Portraits of other recent predecessors with whom Donald Trump has had contentious relationships with, like George W. Bush and George H.W. Bush, have also been moved. Trump directed staff to move the Obama portrait to the top of the grand staircase, two sources familiar with the matter told CNN, where it will now be out of view from thousands of White House visitors who tour the White House each and every single day. One of the sources added that the portraits of both Bushes are now in the staircase area as well, completely out of sight. Multiple sources say that the president is directly involved with nearly everything that is done in the aesthetic of the White House, big or small. CNN obtained a photo of the Obama portrait hanging at the top of the staircase in the corner at a landing in the entrance to the private residence. That area is heavily restricted to members of the First Family, U.S. Secret Service agents, and a limited number of White House staff and executive resident staff. It is firmly out of view of any visitor hoping to see the photorealistic painting of the former president, a source familiar with the matter confirmed. It's not the first time that Obama painting has been repositioned. In April, the Obama portrait was moved across the grand foyer of the White House and replaced with the painting of an iconic scene, Trump surviving an assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. Well, it's good to see that they call it an assassination attempt. Here's the Bush painting. White House protocol and precedent calls for portraits of recent American presidents to be given prominent placement in the executive mansion, right in the entrance, visible to guests during official events or visitors. Is any visitor really going to the White House to see Obama's portrait? Really? In the Trump era? Are you going there? Like, are you going there? You're going to go on a Christmas tour of whatever, you know, you're going to go to the White House to go to the springtime, go see the springtime gardens, or, you know, whatever they have at the White House. Are you really going there? Are people going to the White House in the Trump era to see an Obama portrait? I think not. Portrait of former President Joe Biden has not yet been completed. That's going to be hilarious, by the way, when Joe Biden goes back to the White House to hang his portrait, whatever the hell that is. It's going to be hanging in hospice, right? The portrait maneuvers marks Trump's latest slight against a perceived political rival. It comes as tensions between Trump and Obama have escalated in recent months. Trump recently accused Obama and members of his administration of committing treason during the 2016 election, prompting rare statements from the predecessor who called the claims outrageous and bizarre. A weak attempt at a distraction. The president's attorney, General Pamela Bondi, subsequently ordered prosecutors to begin a grand jury into the allegations the Obama administration officials manufactured intelligence about the 2016 election. There have also been long simmering tensions between Trump and the Bush family. The elder Bush, who died in 2018, called Trump a blowhard in a biography and voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016 election. George, I didn't actually know that. Wow. Oh, what a disgrace. George W. Bush, I mean, he was CIA. He was head of the CIA and is obviously like a total cutout. So he's like the godfather of the deep state. What am I even talking about? I just didn't know that it was public knowledge that he voted for Hillary Clinton. George W. Bush, who Trump has attacked as a failed and uninspiring president, true. Former First Lady Laura Bush attended the president's inauguration, but did not attend the post-ceremony luncheon. CNN reached out to the White House for comments. Spokesperson of Obama's office declined. During Trump's first term, he replaced portraits of Bill Clinton and George W. Bush in the grand foyer, choosing instead to highlight William McKinley and Theodore Roosevelt. Privately funded by the nonprofit White House Historical Association, the formal tradition of presidential portraits came in the early 1960s. Okay, cool. So that's funny. Where's the photo? They said they got a photo. So where's your photo? Publish it. They say they have a photo of where Trump has hidden it. I guess it would be hard to find because it's hidden. President Trump reportedly moved the Obama and Bush portraits to far less prominent positions in the White House. 100% approve of this action. How do I drop the portrait? Ready for a good laugh? President Trump has had the official White House portrait moved to a stairwell. Here we go. President Trump figured out what to do with the Obama portrait. Game of darts. Trump yanked the official portraits of Barack Obama, placed him in a staircase where people can't see him. Tradition said those portraits greet guests and foreign leaders. Nobody needs to be greeted with a photo of George W. Bush. Come on, man. Really? President Trump has moved Barack Hussein Obama's presidential portrait to a hidden stairway. I disagree with Trump here. It should be moved inside of the urinal. Well, there you go. Obviously, you've heard President Trump slamming Barack Obama and what his cronies did to him. We've covered it extensively on this program. I think it's deeply funny that this is happening.
Staff to move the Obama portrait, a portrait of Barack Obama, to the top of the grand staircase. Two sources familiar with the matter told CNN, where it will now be out of view from the thousands of visitors who tour the White House each day. One of the sources added the portraits of both Bushes are now in the staircase area.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, got to tell you, why not? Why not? Like, would you really want to see the faces? I think it's weird that Trump moved him into the private residence. I think that's peculiar, right? But would you really want to see the faces of the guys who wanted to see you killed and put in prison? I mean, would you want to see that every single night? Maybe just to spite them, right? Maybe just to like flip them off on your way to work. Maybe that's why they're up in the private residence now, so no one can see that happen every morning. That's my thought. What's yours? Let me know in the comment section below. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.